Converting x squared plus bx plus c to factored form. Welcome back. As with the last assignment, I left up our FOIL notes because today we're going to do the exact opposite of what we did last time. We're going to go backwards, meaning we're going to start with a equation that's already been FOILed in this x squared plus bx plus c form. And we're going to have to go backwards and figure out what did it look like in factored form. We've already said throughout this unit how important both forms are. The vertex form to find the vertex and the factored form to find your x-intercepts. If you have both, you can easily graph any parabola anywhere at any time. Of course, with technology nowadays, including this Desmos calculator, you have technology that can do a lot of this for you. And yet, this is still standards. They're still good to know. If nothing else, this will help you for different tests you take to get into college or just to graduate high school. So, here we go. This is one of my favorite assignments because it's kind of a game. The game is going to be what two numbers add to my middle number with the x. Remember last time, the middle number has the x. And then what same two numbers multiply to get our last number. All right, let's dive right into it. Notice I have my Desmos calculator up from what we did last time with the multiplying and the adding. So right off the bat, here's my first equation. X squared plus 7x plus 12. Now, here's what I recommend you do for each of these. You think of the factors of 12 first. So instead of thinking about what adds to 7, you think of what multiplies to 12. And you ask yourself, what two numbers multiply to 12 that also add to 7? Can you think of it? Did you think of it right away? If you can, congratulations. If you can't, let's go over here to this calculator. And let's start easy with 1. 1 goes into everything. So 1 times 12 is 12. What's 1 plus 12? Is that 7? Okay, what else? Does 12 divide evenly into 2? Yes, 2 and 6. What's 2 plus 6? Is that 7? No, but we're so close. Okay. Does 12 divide evenly into 3? Yes, 4. What's 3 plus 4? Oh my gosh, there it is, 7. So the two numbers that I'm looking for, my magic two numbers, are 3 and 4. Here's how we enter these numbers. Because they are positives, we need to, in parentheses, there's always going to be parentheses and there's always going to be x's. Always, always, always. And then we fill in our numbers. So I've got a positive 3 and a positive 4. And you could go backwards and put plus 4, plus 3. You could put a space in between them, whatever you want. It's just so important that you have the parentheses, that you have the x's in both, that you don't put capital X's, still put your lowercase x's. And then if you've got positive numbers, put the plus signs. If you have negative numbers, you put a negative sign. If you have one positive and one negative, we'll see examples of all of these. You'll do 1 plus and 1 minus. Okay. Let's move on to round 2 of this game. What two numbers multiply to 48 and add to 14? Well, you could Google factors of 48, and that would also make this much easier. But I'm just going to say, all right, let's see here. Divide by 1, 48. 48 plus 1, does that give me 14 now? 2, 24. 24 plus 2, 14 now. 3 and 16. 3 plus 16 is 14? Nope, that's 19, but we're getting closer. 4 and 12. 4 plus 12 is 16. We're getting close. Notice 48 has a lot of factors, but 5 is not one of them. If you ever get a decimal, you automatically know that's not our answer. 6 and 8. What is 6 plus 8? It is 14! Yay! Magic numbers are 6 and 8, and I will prove to you that you could put them in backwards as 8. And I'll put some spaces in there for you too. And 6. I don't know why you'd want that many spaces, but the assignment is smart enough to not care. It still says perfect. You put it in backwards, you put it in with spaces, it don't care. The important thing is you got the 8 and the 6, and that you got it with the positives each time. Good going. All right. Round 3, 10 and 21. When the number's smaller, like 21, we have less numbers to go through. 21 and 1. That makes 22. And that's a decimal. 3 plus 7. Oh, hey, did you do that one in your head? You starting to see the pattern here? X plus 7. Check it out. I'm just going to hold down spacebar for a while. I can't even see that positive 7. Not positive 7. It's long gone. It doesn't matter because I'm proving to you once again. This assignment's going to give you the correct answer. You got it, even if you put so many spaces that you can't even see the other one here. The important thing to know is that it's there. All right, adds to 19, multiplies to 90. Can you do that one in your head? Can you just see it? Maybe take a second. What multiplies to 90 and adds to 19? Well, 90 ends in a 0, so that's a big hint. Very big hint. But I'll go through it manually. 1 and 90, not even close. 2 and 45, not even close. 3 and 30, getting closer, but still no. 4, it's a decimal. 5 and 18 make 23. Nope. 6 and 15 make 21. Ooh, we're close. 7 and a decimal. 8 and a decimal. 9 and 10. Ha! Is that the one you saw? Did you find that in your head? If so, well done. Go you. If not, that's cool. That's cool. Important thing is that you get it right, no matter how you get it. I'm always one of those math teachers that however you get from Portland to Chicago is fine with me. I might teach you some faster ways. You could choose to do them that way or not. You could take a few days and walk there. I just might tell you at the end, hey, great job with the amount of work it took to walk there, but let me teach you about this whole airline thing. You can get there a lot faster. At least drive a car. All right, we have our first one now. It's getting a little tricky. This is like the video game analogy. We're moving on to level 2. Or at least world 2, I guess. This is level 5, world 2. Where, sorry, I shouldn't put the pluses there now, because for the first time we have a minus and a plus. So something that adds to a negative and multiplies to a positive. Well, I said last lesson, a little reminder of my smart aleck childhood self at times, that 2 wrongs never make a right unless you're multiplying or dividing. So in this case, if I have 2 wrongs that add to a negative, but multiply to a positive, that means that both of these numbers must be negative. So anytime you see a negative here and a positive here, just like number 6 as well, you can go ahead and just put negative signs there. And then I could see, all right, 6. Wow, thank God for 6. That number's so small, it has so few factors. All right, so 6 and 1. So notice how I'm going to do this. I'm going to say negative 6 and negative 1, because they're both going to be negative. Does negative 6 and negative 1 add to negative 5? Nope, makes negative 7. Well, what about 2? Does 2 divide evenly? Yep, 2 and 3. What about negative 2 and negative 3? Negative 5, that's what we want. So then I have to put this in as a negative 2 and a negative 3, or a negative 3 and a negative 2. The order does not matter. Again, that was a lot, very fast. So you can either hit pause, or you can look at this next example and then hit pause if you need more time. 35. Let's look at 35. Well, I can do my 35 and 1, but I'll tell you what, that's not going to make 12. 35 and 2 is a decimal. 35 and 3 is a decimal. 35 and 4 is a decimal. 35 and 5, let's try 5 and 7, my factors. Negative 12, sweet. All right. Did you do that one in your head? Again, if so, well done. If not, no shame. Do what you got to do, homie. Negative 5 and negative 7. Cool, cool, cool. All right. That was level 2. We're moving on to level 3, or I should say again, world 3, level 7. Because now we have a negative on the outside. How do you multiply to get a negative? More review. If you multiply and get a positive, it's either going to be a positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative. If you multiply and get a negative, that means automatically I can type in that one's going to be a positive and one's going to be a negative. And now we're entering the world. I can do the same thing down here too. We're entering the world where it really does make a difference which one you put where. And so we have factors of 21 now that we want to get to be 4, where one's positive and one's negative. All right, well, we know our first one, 21 and 1. So one's positive, one's negative. If I do 21 and 1, I'm either going to get negative 20 or positive 20, depending on the order. Either way, I want 4, so that's not it. All right, let's go up. 2's a decimal, 3 and 7. Negative 3 and positive 7 gives me positive 4. Ha! That's what I want, positive 4. So with a negative 3 and a positive 7. Notice if we'd swapped them around, we get a negative 4. The sign, in this case a negative, always takes the larger numbered sign when you're adding. So if my larger number is negative, my whole number is negative. If I flip it around and now my larger number is positive, then my sum is also positive, or my difference in this case. So let's put this in order. Positive 7, negative 3. Notice how this lines up sign for sign here. Positive 7, negative 3. Positive 7, negative 3. Got it. And again, maybe your mental math skills are so sharp, you can just look at this next one and go, how do I get 4 from I almost gave it away, from factors of 60, maybe you just heard me give it away, that multiply to negative 60 and add to 4. Well, I'm going to play dumb, as if I didn't just give away the answer here. And I'm going to start with my 1. 1 and 60. Well, you can see right off the bat. That's going to give me 59 or negative 59. I want 4 and 2. 2 and 30. That's going to give me, this one's a little cumbersome to go through all of them, but 28 or negative 28. And what about 3 and 20? That's going to give me 17 or negative 17. 4 and 15. Gosh, they have a lot of factors in this one. Just like 48 did. No, but we're getting close. 11. What about 5 and 12? Geez, everything is a freaking factor with 60. 7, we're getting so close. What about 6? 10 and 6. Is that what you knew out there, that it's 10 and 6? We want a positive 4, so that's positive 10. Remember, the larger number gets the sign. So if we want it to be positive, we got to put the 10 with the positive. The 6 goes negative. And then we got it. Oh, I wish we were in person for this one, because I really like just showing off sometimes. You just give me one, and I try and do this within like 1 second. Like right now, I just look at it and I see it, but I'm not going to give it away, because that would be bad teaching right now. All right, I have my positive number at the end that it multiplies, and my negative in the middle. So this was that example where if it adds to a negative and it multiplies to a positive, they both have to be negative. Factors of 10. All right, well, let's just for the heck of it start with 10 and 1. I mean, we haven't had a single one that was, had a 1 before, and they're both negative, so negative 10 and negative 1. Oh, did you see it the whole time? This is the first one that actually does work immediately. That's exciting. We wanted it to add to negative 11. It adds to negative 11. I don't know why I get so excited on this assignment. I think it's just because it's a fun game. Does anyone out there think it's also a fun game? I'm probably just crazy. Who knows? All right. Then we end with one of the challenging ones because they're both negative. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because we know if we have a negative at the end, that one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. It just means that now our larger number, instead of being positive like we had before, it's going to be negative to take this negative sign. All right, 80. 80 and 1. Negative 80, positive 1. Negative 79 or 79 if we reversed it. Not even close. We're going to have to go for a while. 40 and 2. Do you see it already as I'm doing all this work? 38, again, getting closer, but not even close. 3 is a decimal. 4 and 20. 16 or negative 16, we're still so far off. We just want 2. Numbers that are 2 apart, you can think of it as. And 4 and 20 is not 2 apart. It is 16 apart. What about 5 and 16? Those are 11 apart. All right, I'm just going to do this little shortcut. 6 and 13 is a decimal. 7 is a decimal. 8 and 10. Are 8 and 10 2 apart? Oh my gosh, they are, because 10 minus 8 is... Oh my gosh. That's right. 2. But we don't want positive 2 this time. We want negative 2. So we need to flip it and make the negative in front of the 10 and the positive in front of the 8. And put that in exactly right. So I can even reverse this and go negative 10, positive 8. If this is just too complicated and you've tried it and you're frustrated, you can always submit this and just get a 90 or an 80 or whatever. Just make sure you get over a 70. Or keep challenging yourself. Try it a few times. Look at my notes. Play the game. Google factors if you need to just Google factors. Although I really like this, just replacing in the Desmos calculator. Hopefully you get all of them right eventually and see this glorious, glorious green layout of questions and check marks. This took us about 14 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As always, this has been your teacher, Dylan, hoping that your plans today weren't foiled or reverse foiled, which I guess would be lee off. Alright, that's silly. Have a great day, great week, great life, great everything. Much love. Bye-bye.